Namaste everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang today. Sadhguru Shri Muji Ji ki Jai. Some of you did the homework, huh? Especially today, very well.
Paul also did some.
And you found some?
Paul sent some.
Paul sent some as well, in the later chapters as well. About the rest of you, the homework, like scary flashbacks from school. I feel to go over some of it in this way. I feel it's very nice. So I'll open Vinod's first, then we'll look at Paul's, where we looked at the first clue, which is we are looking for that which is the witness of all things. This was the first clue, isn't it? Looking for that which is the witness of all things. So he's found some verses. He said, chapter 1, verse 3, you are not earth, water, fire, or air, nor are you empty space. Liberation is to know yourself as awareness alone, the witness of these. Very beautiful verse. Right in the beginning. After the preparatory verse, this was the first thing he said. You are not earth, water, fire or air, nor are you empty space. We talked about this, how the mind can conjure up a visual of some empty space. The minute we hear that we are not one of the four elements, mind will say, okay, then you must be this blank space or something, isn't it? So quickly the sage says, we're talking about Ashtavakra. So Ashtavakra said, nor are you this empty space. Liberation is to know yourself as awareness alone, the witness of these. So what witnesses all of this, including the sense of space, the visual of space? What witnesses that? Then he looked at verse number 5, which said, you have no caste or duties. You are invisible, unattached, formless. You are the witness of all things. Be happy. In those days, identity was very strongly based on the sort of caste. So the kings would be typically the Kshatriya. So you have no caste. And then doership, of course, we talked about every day about how that becomes an important part of the identity as well. So you have no caste or duties. You are invisible, unattached, formless. You are the witness of all things. Be happy. Verse 7. You are the solitary witness of all that is. You are the solitary witness of all that is, forever free. This first part of the phrase is one of my favorites in the Ashtavakra. You is you. It's about you. Not about Janaka, about you. Are the solitary witness. The solitary witness of all that is, forever free. Your only bondage is not seeing this. And we elaborated on this where we talk about the seeing of this is more like the pretense of this. You pick up a pretense of being something else other than what we truly are. Then you are the self, the solitary witness. This is verse 12 from chapter 1. You are the self, the solitary witness. You are perfect, all pervading, one. You are free, desireless, forever still. The universe is but a seeming in you. You are the self, the solitary witness. You are perfect, all pervading, one. You are free, desireless, forever still. The universe is but a seeming in you. This was all verses about, beautiful verses about the first clue, which is that which is the witness of all things. Look at this one today, and there's one from the 15th chapter. So we'll look at that maybe once we've done all the. So in this way, what is the point of doing this? You will see how throughout the Ashtavakra Gita, all these clues are then reinforced, and how everything is a pointer for your self-recognition, for your inquiry, for you to find it here and now, this that you already are. So remember that whenever we use the term find it, look for it, the clues to find it also doesn't mean that we are finding something outside of ourselves. It is just the ocean which is pretending to be the drop. Is it? And now the drop is playing the game of realizing it is the ocean. So it is finding itself in that way, not something outside of it, not something which is to be found through some movement. It is the recognition of the dropping of the false and the recognizing that which is always true. I looked at what Paul had also done, and his were mostly, Paul, weren't yours mostly from the chapters we haven't done yet? Mostly from there. Okay. So we'll do it. I saw somewhere from chapter, the latest chapter, the closest chapter was maybe 11. So maybe we'll go through all these first and then we'll look at what you found as well. So what did we do last? We finished chapter 10.
It's closest is 15. Did we do this one? Chapter 10, verse 7. Prosperity, pleasure, pious deeds. Enough. In the dreary forest of the world, the mind finds no rest. Prosperity, pleasure, pious deeds. Enough, the sage says. In the dreary world, in the dreary forest of the world, the mind finds no rest. So we've looked at this many times, and again, not to cause any misunderstanding. It is just
He's talking about what is the position we are operating from, as if we are the doer of these pious deeds. And after doing something, as if we will find something which is out of ourselves. So, as if in the chasing of prosperity, we will find that complete happiness. As if in the chasing of pleasure, we will find everlasting pleasure. And as if in the performance of pious deeds, rituals or other deeds, it is as if you will find yourself in something to do. It is not that, he says, enough. In this dreary forest of the world, the mind finds no rest. So if we're still following this mind, which is the voice of our individuality, the ego, then do as we might, it will not find rest. You notice like this? Mind could have said, my only desire in life is this. See? Many times the desire comes true. My only desire, God, please just get me this job. Huh? And we get it. Get me this job, then I'll be at peace, I'll be happy. Then we get the job. What happens? Does the mind keep quiet? Is it gone forever? Bye bye? No. God, one more thing. Now, this manager I have at work, the supervisor, please change that one. The job is good. Then it goes on and on. Can you do something about my salary? Can you take care of my progress in the career? So it never stops. Even in the uh, scripture, there's so many examples of these kings who start doing these rituals. And they start with one, then they go to the next, and the next one, which gives them even more power, money, fame. And then they do all kinds of rituals. Ashwamedh, Ashwamedh, where they send a horse out, and they're praying at the same time. They're doing the yajna, they're praying to all the gods, and the horse is running. And all those territories where the horses ran, if it goes unobstructed, if no other king or nobody else in those kingdoms stops them, then those territories are under you. They become part of your kingdom. So it never ends. I'm sure if they had access to planes and things, they would have sent planes out. If it doesn't get shot down, then it's mine. So there is no end to this. So this is what the sage is trying to say. He is not saying that any of these things by themselves are bad. So we are not to create aversions to prosperity or to pleasure or to pious deeds. But if we have the idea that doing of something will get me to the self. I keep taking Adhya's example sometimes where very beautifully he said once, where does the shoe have to walk to become a shoe? So we can apply that, isn't it? Does the shoe have to become more prosperous to be a shoe? Does it have to find more pleasure to be a shoe? Does it have to do some rituals, some walking, as Adhya said, to become a shoe? It already is. So this is what? Self-realization, self-recognition. What is it that I am? Prior to all of this, and prior to all my conditions about myself, what is it that I truly am? And is there something that I am? So what is saying? Then verse 8, for how many lifetimes have you done hard and painful labor with body, mind and speech? It is time to stop. It's quite conclusive. How many lifetimes have you done hard and painful labor with body, mind and speech? What are our active and Indian spirituality? These are called the active organs in a way. So body, mind and speech. Where have they got us? For how many lifetimes did you try to find this eternal happiness in these kind of actions? Why don't you stop? And when to stop? It is time now. Now is the time. Just for this one moment. Ashtavakra, I didn't say time to stop just for this moment. I'm adding that to make it easier for you. Because I know otherwise the mind can come with a lot of fear. If I stop all this, what will happen to my life? So, can we start with at least one moment? Can we give our utmost attention to ourselves for just this one moment, irrespective of what the mind might be saying. What is our discovery about ourselves? Don't jump to a mental conclusion too fast. Many times, after I met Guruji, many asked me, so what happened? Especially after I started sharing satsang, many wanted to know. Because I was like a spring chicken starting to share satsang, so everybody wanted to know a little bit. So, what really happened when I met Guruji? So then, very often when I didn't feel like sharing a story, I just said, I just stopped. This idea that I am doing something, I have to do this, I have to go there, I have to say this, I have to control, basically. That just stopped. So when I mean that Guruji picked me up on his lap and has never put me back down again, I continue to be there. Only this is what it means. This whole idea of running my life. A baby doesn't have that. So because of our conditioning, we've been conditioned. You must do like this, you must be like this, you must behave like this, you must say like this. When all that stops, you realize that it's just like one of the teachers I used to go to used to say, it's like a heavy bag that you put down. And somebody would ask them about liberation, freedom. It's like you're carrying this heavy bag, school bag, and this is like unburdening. What burdens us? What burdens us is our ideas about the past and our projections about the future. But none of that. If this was the time to stop right now, if you don't give relevance or meaning to any of that for some time, find yourself unburdened, free. Guruji says, if you want to be free, nobody can stop you. Nothing can come in your way. If that is the truest longing in your heart, then you will find that in response to the longing, you will find yourself much more able to let go of this monkey mind. You are behind it. Even now it might be chattering. It's okay. Don't get in opposition with it. I did not say stop the mind. I said you stop. Let the mind go on in its own merry way. Yes. The simplicity of this is contrary to the mind. That's why it can seem a bit abstract, a bit confusing. Because why Ashtavakra said the mind is complex. Let it go. Do not say that you have to climb a ladder of complexity, more and more complex spirituality, and then you will come to this ultimate truth. See, you're actually coming down from the wall of complexity to this simplicity which is down. No concept is needed for the truth. Are you using a thought to be right now? We are unaccustomed to this kind of checking. So, so just check. It's very good. Just check. Are you using a concept to exist? If you had no memory of a concept, would you not exist? And no concept is inherently present. You see, the struggle is for the concept, for the mind, for the concepts. The struggle is not for you. Stay with me a little bit, you'll see what I'm saying. The struggle is for the mind to keep convincing you over and over again. It is not the concept which inherently exists. In this moment, you are empty of them. You have to give it at least some time for the concept to come, for you to buy into it, and for that to seem like it is part of your existence. See? Inherently, in every moment, you are free. But the mind comes, usually starting with a but you continue to exist without this also. What is wrong with your existence right now? Even if you were to say that my body is in pain, you see, if you're only dealing with the pain of the present moment, then this pain is never too much for you to handle. If it was too much for you to handle, then consciousness doesn't want to experience that, and you say, I lost consciousness. It's very subtle. Please look at this. The pain of the present moment is never too much for your being to handle. When you bring your ego into the picture, which has the story of this should not come, I've had it for so long, when will this go? I wish it was something like that. You see, then when that physical pain is there, or emotional pain is there, or any sort of sensational pain is there, mixed with this story, then it can seem very burdensome. So pain by itself, I'll tell you something even more which some of you might not agree with, but you have to play with this energy in this way to see that pain in itself, in the energetic spectrum, is not so different from pleasure. Unjudged, unresisted pain, energetically, is not that very different from pleasure. Many years ago, I haven't shared this story for a long time, so I'll share. I used to go to a lot of these yoga type programs where we do various processes, meditations, practices. Then one time I went to this program and there was strange meditation happening where the master had said, lift your hand like this. And then he said, keep it. So time went. Initially it was fine, but later it started paining all the shoulders, everything, So all the joints they started paining. Can you find the pleasure in this pain? Initially, what kind of sadistic meditation is this? You can feel like that when you're in so much pain, the mind will come with very strong resistance. But then after I found that because there was something that the master said that I have to do this, so I have to do this. So after some time, the mind just gave up, and the pain was just tasted as the energy of the pain, and it was not so different from pleasure. Actually. So I'm not saying try this at home. You don't have to try this at home. But next time when the pain is there, you can then check and see that. Another example of this is things like anxiety. Guruji says that it is said actually that to speak on stage for most people is a worse fear than the fear of death. Many would actually die than to go and speak on the stage. That kind of crippling fear people can have of public speaking. So, but he said very beautifully that notice that if you have this kind of pride, notice just how it tastes energetically. And you will find that it is not so different from the excitement you feel if you're going on a holiday that you've been looking forward to, or some enjoyable experience which is finally coming. The anticipation of something enjoyable also feels energetically very similar, almost in the same level of the energetic spectrum. So it is not what we make it out to be. The tasting of this in itself, unjudged, is the pain by itself. is also not, does not get in the way. How did we get here? We got here because I was asking what is wrong with your existence right now. We were discussing someone we were discussing the other day, and they said, "Yes, Father. If you look back, you can see that everywhere that I needed to be, I was. And life has worked out in its own beautiful way, just on its own." So existence is also taking care of existence. How it wants to exist, how it wants to taste this life, is also being taken care of. We are willing to accept that about the past because it is undeniable if we look back with openness. But somehow we are not willing to accept, many of us, accept that the same thing will continue to happen in this play of life. That is because we have not yet really understood what this existence actually is. We feel like it is some sort of a personal existence. We feel like it's a personal existence that was taken care of individually. God was taking care of me. Which is a beautiful thing. But now we are going beyond that. And I'm pointing you to this, that existence itself is consciousness, is God. God is taking care of itself. Nobody else has ever existed. Otherwise, how would we say God is everywhere? We're saying God is everywhere but me. So if God is everywhere, it must include this body mind. If it includes this body mind, see, then what is the separation between the God that is everywhere and the God that is me? Then you start to see that. And you don't have to rely on these concepts. You will rely on your own insights. When you look at the boundaryless existence of consciousness, then you find that the body and the sensations of the body are just appearances in the same pool of appearances, in the same consciousness. Then you will see for yourself. So these will become your own insight. Just because I started this point, I want to complete it. It is about effortlessness. So to exist, are you exerting some effort? And we also saw that existence is taking care of itself. So that we consider ourselves to be does not need to exert any effort. And to be aware of this existence, are you exerting some effort? You know that you are. I ask you, can you stop being? You know that so simply, like a child. There is rarely a more profound pointing than this. That which is aware of your being is effortless. It's just not easy. Not easy. How can it be effortless and yet not easy?
We have found the presence.
Is it because it is difficult or because it is too easy? The fact that it is too easy makes it difficult. Maybe. How many have lost their presence?
I remember you saying that from where are you seeing? From where are you looking at?
Yes.
Is your seeing pure?
I would never have said you're seeing pure.
But you didn't say that your seeing is pure. The seeing should be pure. no commentary. Where are you seeing from?
Is that difficult? From if it's easy for you, then the good news is it's all about you. Because who are you? You are the one solitary witness. Maybe I'm missing the point.
The business of life is very easy when you're with Guruji Baba or with you, in your energetic presence. The business is so palpable.
I sense a but coming.
Yesterday, when you made a joke at me,
Yesterday, we didn't even meet yesterday.
Then, because you wanted me to look, I know that this was the part of the joke was for me to look.
And I said that.
Only the Gopala, only when he closed his eyes, you can see.
Oh, yes.
And so I started looking, with my eyes open. But that palpability is still not coming with my eyes. That
yes. Is palpability also an attribute? Does it make a difference to the witnessing? Is it? Or is palpability something that we are holding on to, which is like an energetic byproduct of the looking? It's the same thing as saying, I want the Ananda. I want the Ananda when I come to the Sat and Chit. Otherwise, I don't know that it is Sat and Chit. Now, are you not looking now?
it's clear.
You're aware of it. You're aware that sight is functioning. Isn't it? Can you be unaware of it? Just be unaware of your sight. Just be unaware of your any sensation.
Ananda is not
See, that is what I'm saying. So is it about Ananda or the palpability of the... So let's cover that first point. So
Satchit Ananda must come.
this is it. This is it. Okay, we'll come to this in just a moment. So you are aware of your sight. Is there ever a time, no matter what, like Guruji says, that there's a tsunami of sensations coming? Can you ever become unaware of your perceptions and things in your waking state? Are you ever unaware, truly? We're not talking about attention. We're talking about even that which is aware of distracted attention. So I repeat, we're not talking about attention. We're talking about that which is aware even of distracted attention. Can you have an experience without you being aware? Are you experiencing anything outside of your experience? Only deep sleep, you can say.
Surya, you cannot.
Now you're getting to the root of it. So awareness is unchanging. It is only Ananda which is coming and going. Is that, now, tell me if that is really the problem. Is it? Because it might not be. Is it that you feel only when your eyes are closed, you are aware? Or is it that you feel that when eyes are closed, there's so much love, bliss, bliss, Which one is it? So it's the second one.
It's beautiful.
But is the first part clear that whether eyes are open or closed, nothing changed for awareness? This is clear. So now you're saying that it should only be a certain way, which is beautiful.
Is that a valid thing to say? In this realm of duality, is it possible for something to only be a certain way? Then what will that expectation get you?
Misery.
Now, can you become miserable without this concept that it should always be blissful or beautiful?
I'd like to be in that.
Yes, but without this concept, what is your natural state? This smile that is coming, is it coming because of the concept or in spite of the concept? Got the question? In spite. Is it? So this smile does not need the concept. Some happiness is coming from somewhere. Is that not Ananda? Papaji said sometimes the sages speak in very simple words, so we miss the point. Papaji said you need nothing to be happy, but you need something to be miserable. But
So normally, when you when you when you're tracking and guys are doing wrong things coming along, you want to kill them.
he says when you're in traffic and people are on the wrong side of the road. This happened to me the other night also. When I was driving, someone coming, no helmet, nothing, a bike driver. And then she almost hit him because she was on the right side and he got upset with her. Now, let me try if this works. Even in those experiences, would you say that they are completely without joy? Just like no pain is without pleasure, really. We've spoken of these things many times where we said, would we like to really go for a movie where it's just hunky dory throughout? There's no plot twist, there's no adversity, there is no trouble for the protagonist. Everything is just fine. Dumpy. Whole day. Nothing like that. You watch something like that for 3 hours? Indian movies are 3 hours. What if life becomes tasted more and more like a movie? Then what kind of movie you'd like? Thinking actually that what you are in reality. Why is a movie fun? If technology was that good, if Krishna and all work on this technology, it becomes better and better and better and better, that actually when you put on this device, then it feels like really it is your life. Then it will be like a nightmare. If the scenes are full of adversity, it will become like a nightmare and you want out. Why is a movie more enjoyable? Because you are constantly reassured that nothing will happen to you. You are just a witness. Is it? Clue number one. You are the witness. Then war is happening. Dunkirk we went for. We were talking about the other day. So much war was happening. You were watching, my family and I, we were watching the movie and enjoying it. Why? If it was so real that it would feel like, okay, these bombs are going to come and fall on my children, then it would not feel like that. There must be this discovery that what I am is just the witness of it. And in reality, I cannot be it. That's the whole point of Satsang. To discover that which is the witness, which is the unchanging reality of you. So once you see that, even if I give you this experiment, if I say, okay, compose a book about the life of Susita, and all that you will experience is just that book. Then you will make a book with challenges and how she won over all of them. This is a typical. You don't have to follow the typical formula. Most of us will do that. They will not say she was born happy, she lived happy, she died happy. Nobody will say. They will say, what kind of book is that? So the trouble is that we have identified ourselves to be a mere character in this movie instead of the light and the screen of this movie and the witness of it. And then many times it can be that as character I want enlightenment so that my movie can become a bit better because I'm fearful of it. So this is the seeker identity. It says, I've gone through all of this. This is the cat that I talk about, isn't it? Now it's coming to that bowl of milk, which it feels like if it has this, then personally it will become invincible or something. What is the story of the Rakshasas in Indian mythology? They were looking for the nectar of immortality, so personally they could become immortal, more powerful than anybody else. That is a representation of the spiritual ego.
Won't this lead to disinterest?
Won't it? Has it?
And as a witness. No, it's more of, it's not play.
What happens as you come to that insight? Now, we talked about this, but I can elaborate a little bit on this. The mind has some trump cards. First trump card is, won't I become irresponsible? What is going to happen to my life, my family, my job, the people who depend on me, my future, my ambition, my goal? Trump card. So, it says, and you realize that the instant we buy this, we have believed all the 3Ds, that duality happened, that separation is there, I am a separate individual. You see? That desire is valid, that I have to have something because I am a limited entity and I must reinforce myself with something, therefore it is valid to desire. And therefore, then to get that desire, I must do something. And all the 3Ds come back just with this concept. Now, the one that is witnessing all of this, is it even, does this interest and disinterest apply to it? Right now, the witness of all of this play, it is aware even of interest, isn't it? Is it subject to interest or is it beyond interest? And that it is you or not? Are you primarily the one who is interested? Or are you primarily the one that is witnessing even this one? Is it? This primary position, if we can clarify, it's very clear. Is it? What is my primary position? And the sages have said what? You're looking for the self which is real. And what is the definition of real? That which remains unchanging. So if it is in the spectrum of opposites, interest and disinterest, then it cannot be myself. But you don't have to take their word for it. You have to check. Use that as a clue. And check if this is your true insight or not. Is that awareness? Can we ever say awareness was interested or disinterested? Or is it aware even of this play of interest and disinterest? Now, interest is a very confusing term because it can apply both to attention and to belief. Usually that which has been reinforced by our belief in the past gets interest from attention as well. And that from which attention, from which belief has been withdrawn, it starts to fade away in terms of interest from attention as well. See the play of interest. It's a very beautiful discovery we make about ourselves. What is it that you're interested in, for example? You could say, I'm interested in finding myself, I'm interested in this kind of books, I'm interested in this, and you'll see that it is on the basis of belief in some condition. Now, this is how even new interests are formed. A new idea could come, or some friend could tell you. A new condition is formed. Now, if you find yourself to be beyond this, then we actually don't know. As the burden of past and future is being dropped away, my experience here has been that I find myself much more interested in a way, or at least attentive to what is here in the present. Even the content of the present moment seems to be much more alive for me now than it used to be, and half my attention used to be dispersed in the mantra, what's in it for me. When I was interested in what's in it for me, then it did not seem like I had full interest in what is here now. So it is not that selfish interest. This is so much experiencing this moment for what it is. That is another way to say interest.
When you're engaging with the world, things are not good. I mean, like, because of the need, you will lose something, you will gain something. Gain something, you're happy. Lose something is a problem. So it's because the me factor, right?
The me.
Me. What like I lose so much money. What happened? Something,
In this moment, there's a me. Right now, don't think about it. Now. Like, I won't give you a second to think. Is there a me? Is there a me? So the invention of the me is on the basis of our belief in a concept, belief in a thought.
But how do you escape some concepts which you need to live in the world? For example, that I have to save so much money for, getting, let's say, for healthcare, or I need to be able to deliver this in time in order to, for my position in my work, or I need to pay my electricity bill, otherwise there will be no light. So, isn't so many things that you have to do,
Yes.
which are essential, that take you away from now?
Yes. So let's make it even more essential. I need to breathe to survive the next 10 minutes, 5 minutes. So who does that? You do it. Is it you decided to breathe and do a good job of it? It just happened. Your heart needs to pump blood, otherwise this body will just fall. Who's doing it? So the most essential we leave to God. The most essential we are happy to leave to some intelligence which has designed all of this and is doing all of this. It is this, and the big stuff also we leave to God usually. Okay, God, please take care of my debt or something like that. It is this mid-range stuff which we feel like this I have to do. See, God cannot do. Or if God will do, He will make a hash of it. So, the most complex thing God is doing, like the circulation of blood, the attacking of disease in the body, you see, the growing of plants, how a flower emerges. You see how the body heals when it's cut, how gravitation works, how electricity is functioning, how all of this is happening. Hmm? Some supreme intelligence is doing it, which is undeniable actually. Even the scientists cannot deny. Scientists are discovering the attributes of these forces, but they cannot say why it was designed this way. They cannot say, like I keep saying, they cannot say why the gravitational constant equals this, or why the speed of light equals this. They can just report that it is that. Is it? So it is undeniable that some super intelligence is at work. Is it? So it is doing all of this. Planets are going around. Right now, we're sitting on this massive ball, which is revolving and rotating at huge speeds. So something is doing all of that. But my position at work, my bills, that he cannot manage. Because that has been a condition. It is our belief system that unless I have this condition that Saurabh, this next movie project is there, we have a tight deadline for it. Within next month, the storyboard, everything has to go up. And unless you do it properly, it will not happen. This is our conditioning from the world, isn't it? Now, in spite of whatever conditioning we've had, many times that which we decide to do happens, and many times that we decide to do doesn't happen. Right? So, what do we say then? Oh, it was God's will, or whatever. Just so. What we have to do is experiment with this mid-range stuff. Experiment with this mid-range stuff and see what actually happens. And you will see that the if I ask you to search for the doer who is doing it, will you be able to find it? Doer who has this saving target. Is it? Will you be able to find who is the doer? Which one? Which mean?
It's certainly the constructed me, right?
Say from your own insight, which mean?
What I believe in myself, my position, my
What you believe yourself to be.
Yeah.
Is that the me? That's not the me. Then which is the me?
that means right.
Okay, are you saying what I was saying, or are you saying from your own inside?
No, I thought I was just answering what you asked.
No, not like school. You have to say from your own inside that the one who has a saving target. You see, this me who has to do these certain things is which one?
Is a condition that I have to do this, or I've been told I have to do this. Or
Okay, so if it's just a belief cannot do anything. Can a belief do something? So if you believed yourself to be a character in a movie that you worked on, which was Batman v Superman, suppose you were one of the characters. Now you believed yourself to be that. Can that belief do something? The belief cannot do. So besides that belief of me, is there another me here?
yeah, it's me actually.
The me actually is which one?
Then that is, I mean, I don't know how to put it in words, but that actually is me because I'm doing it, right? Because the belief I'm doing it.
Yes. The belief can't do it. Now who's moving your hands, moving your lips?
It just happens.
Hands and lips are just moving on their own.
Yeah.
You see? But the work that you are talking about is also movement of hands and lips. So are there then two of you? One which is just witnessing this happening right now. So right now it is just happening, but when you come to work, then there's another one who comes in who has to do that.
It's the same.
Same. So if it is all just happening, then who is doing it? You see, right now, I know it can be a completely new concept. So it can feel like, wow, what is this? What is he talking about? So just notice the actions which are happening to the body now, and see if there is an individual doer sitting there who's doing them, an actual entity who is doing them. And find a doer. And yet these things are happening, isn't it? Your head is shaking, hands are moving. So even without the idea of this individual doer, this movement is happening. In the same way, these words are coming out of this mouth, and I am listening to them, same as you are listening to them. I can see that there is nobody doing them. Although conversationally, I might say later that, what I said yesterday was like this or something. But there is no reality in that. I promise you that the same way that you are hearing these words are also being heard over here. They might just seem a bit more intimate. But I'm not deciding to speak these words. There's no doer, individual Ananta sitting here doing them. They're being heard fresh. The same way as everything else is being experienced fresh. That's why our master says, that which we believe ourselves to be is not the thinker of our thoughts, nor the doer of our actions. All of it is a movement of consciousness. Then, now who will take care of savings? Surrender is very, very, very beautiful. As long as we have not picked up the idea of a surrendered individual. You see? When we pick up the idea of a surrendered individual, then it can feel like, oh, but I surrendered to God, and yet He's making a hash of my life. I remember once, some of you might remember, Lucia or Lucia, I forgot which one is pronounced in which way, from America was here. And she said, something like, I'm paraphrasing, something like, I'm very careful about my times with my patients. She was a psychotherapist. So she said, very careful with my time for my patients. In my 25 years of practice, I've never been late, but I've seen that gives some stress or some tension here. So then I went through with her the same satsang, that you just feel like if you leave it to God, God will make a hash of it. So next day she came very angry with me. She said, Father, or Ananta, I don't know what she called me, but Ananta, you said surrender to God, and I surrendered to God. And for the first time in my practice of 25 years, I missed an appointment. So I said, this is the worst case nightmare for you. Because I said, you feel God will make a hash of it, but you feel now that He actually made a hash of it, and you let go, He actually made a hash of it. That's what I meant. That if we surrender just the doer, but not the experiencer, then it can be a struggle. Then it becomes actually just like deal making with God. God, I'll leave. This is easy, man. This is easy. I'm just going to leave my saving target up to you. And just make sure by the time I retire, there is $1 million in my bank. You see? It can be like that. And you might be getting there. And you see $1 million not happening, $100,000 not happening. And you're saying, God, I surrender to you, but you are just not helping. You see? So we have surrendered only the doer, but we have not yet surrendered the experiencer. So if there is a doer, you see, there is only one here. If God is the doer, then God is also the experiencer. So there is no individual sufferer nor individual doer. So when Ashtavakra said earlier, you do not do nor enjoy, these words can be confusing. But actually what he means is you are neither the doer nor the experiencer. Only consciousness is. Now, if you surrender the doer and the experiencer, tell me how you can suffer. So therefore, this just has to translate more and more into your direct insight, that it is consciousness which is the doer and consciousness which is the experiencer. No individual Saurabh has ever existed. And as this insight becomes clearer and clearer, then this worry about what's going to happen to me start to go away. Something I know, it can seem like, I keep taking this example, that if you've always heard the sun comes from the west, and suddenly somebody comes and tells you, no, actually it comes from the east. Initially there can be some resistance. What do you mean? My entire life, millions of people I've met, they've all been lying? So satsang is a bit like that. Everybody has, consciousness is operated in that way, in that design, that everybody has convinced you that you're a person, you're an individual entity. Now, when you come to satsang and you hear about this, that no separation ever happened, it's only one consciousness, no desire is true, because already you are all there is. And therefore, nothing that you have to do, there is no individual doer of anything at all. It can seem like the opposite of everything we've heard. But as you come to satsang, as you follow the words and you have insights about the reality of what you are, then you will find that, yes, what I'm experiencing directly is what the master is saying. But what I've heard, what my mind constantly is saying, has been my belief system from the past. That's why I keep saying, the person is nothing but a bundle of beliefs. Every moment is like this. See? Existence effortlessly existing. And what do we have to do? What do we have to cater for? It's just the mind is experiencing and seeing that, there's some peace coming here because they're resting in the moment. So let me go and put this scare about what's going to happen in the future. What about all the saving? And you were saying just the other day, but all of it so far seemed to have happened on its own, or I happened to be in the right place at the right time. You did not plan it. You did not do it in that way. So that intelligence which is doing this has also got you to satsang. And if some openness gets triggered, is getting triggered in satsang, then you will see this truth for yourself. That the idea that I am a limited entity who has this duality, desire and doership. That's why we record also, we have transcripts also, so that because I know I speak fast, so you can revisit some of these things in the recordings and the transcripts. So basically the essence is that which you have considered yourself to be has never truly existed. That Saurabh, when was he born? His body was born in 1982. When was Saurabh born? Never was born. No ego has ever truly existed. It's like saying, when did you start believing in your imaginary friend? That's the identity. Now, it is either our inquiry, our looking at what we truly are, which brings us to this surrender that I have nothing to do, or some devotion, some surrender can arise and you say, okay, I trust his words, I will follow and let's see where life takes me. Any which way. But if the longing is for the truth, then all these things will become clearer and clearer along the way. These can sound like very strange concepts. I remember that. I remember the first time I was with another spiritual movement many years ago. And first time I saw an interview with Ramesh Balsekar. He was talking about you not being the doer and everything was God's will. I looked at that newspaper article and said, what rubbish is this? This means I can just go around killing people? Does this mean I can just lie in bed all day? So when I answer the questions, I am able to relate to them from the past because these questions were alive here also. But ultimately, there was a time, a few years after that, that I was sitting at Ramesh's feet. When I met Guruji, for a few years I went to Ramesh also. I think for
difficult to accept.
yeah, that's why you can.
Usually, like it's been the guy that I'm looking at crowd. He killed so many people and made money with that. Not just going to do that. I'm choosing the people in his balls.
It can seem too strong. It can seem too difficult to accept. That's why if it feels like there's something I can do to counter this spirit of hate or spirit of darkness, or spirit, as long as that belief is there and it feels too strong, I'm not opposed to anything that you want to do to help those people who are suffering. But does that make it not conscious? Can there be anything outside of consciousness? That does not compute. That does not tally with what I've experienced for myself. That there is consciousness and there is something besides consciousness. That there is something, actually it is not true that only God is. And actually it is not true that God is everywhere. Acceptance that it is all consciousness is not, doesn't have to be this sheepish sort of acceptance. If it still feels like I'm the doer in some way, let's do something. What can we do? Ooh. Now, what the ego usually is messaging us is that no, this happened in Spain, Barcelona, nothing you can do, but let's just pick up resentment and sit with it. That is just pointless. Guilt, resentment, pride, regret, just pure pointlessness. If some anger, outrage came because of the events, and something moved here which can help to bring a smile to one being, one aspect of consciousness that we encounter. Let's do that. How will darkness get tackled by more darkness? If there is darkness in the world, and then we also give in to our darkness about that darkness, how will the light spread? What is here that is that can spread a little bit of light? See what I'm saying? So when we get stuck in the middle zone, where neither responsibility nor surrender, that is the trouble. That is the ego's favorite zone. I'm saying rather than getting into the middle zone, which is I can't do anything with that, which is still we carry on the limited concept of ourselves, and then we pick up this idea of non-doership and things like this. And better you say, I'm the doer, I will take some responsibility, I will be responsible for bringing a smile to 10 people's faces, or feeding 10 children, something. Then, if you see that there is no individual entity here, neither doer nor non-doer, all is a movement of consciousness. Only consciousness is. Then your sage, your God presence, already helping so many without your even seeming doership. What we talk about in Satsang usually is this part. What is it that you really are? But anyone who comes to me and says, Ananta, this happened, yeah, all over the world these things are happening. If someone comes and says, can we do something, can we do this, can we do that? There's no version here for that. We're not putting up a shield where the individual entity can defend itself behind the curtain of non-doership. I remember many years ago, actually, someone came on stage with Guruji and said, I can accept that everything is consciousness, but I cannot accept that the one who abused me when I was a child, that was also consciousness. So all of us have had some experiences, some conditions which we're saying, okay, everything is, I can accept everything in consciousness, but this, no. And as we are deepening in our insight about what we are, all of this already, isn't it, so many things, so many resentments, so many grievances, so many things that just faded away in Satsang. So there is no end to that. You will be able to see the world from so many perspectives. You'll be able to see that everyone in their mind is a hero of their story. Everyone. They don't feel like they're doing something wrong. It is the basis of their character. They feel like they're doing something heroic.
Consciousness plays differently. Like Sadhguru is saying, you will walk all the way, all along the rivers of every state. You meet every master, every chief minister, and get tree planted so that soil is not wasted. You're saying that topsoil is
Erosion.
Desertification is happening. Dropouts and topsoil is getting more and more. Finally, there's no soil to grow crops. Kind of scenario. So consciousness also is playing against.
Of course.
Say,
of course.
Muthamanize, suicide. They helping people to live misery, to take care of the illusion. They come into illusion to take care of the illusion. Different game they play.
Every single expression of consciousness is unique. Every expression. Every fingerprint is unique. Every retina is unique. Every flower is unique. So even those who come to the discovery about the self, who adopt the false conditioning about what they are, those operate in their own unique ways. In fact, as Ashtavakra said last time, they hardly ever agree with each other.
Oops.
You see? Maybe you were not there that day.
I was there.
What did you say? The greatest seers, saints and yogis, agree on very little. Seeing this, who could not be indifferent to knowledge and become still? We describe that we're talking about the concepts that various expressions of consciousness are using to point those who come to them to the truth of what they are. And these concepts, different concepts, are there because all our conditioning is different. See, for some of you, the concept of surrender is more appealing. For some of you, the concept of inquiry is more appealing. For some of you, neither are appealing. Maybe some Hatha Yoga is appealing. So, based on our conditions, the concepts, based on what is embedded, the tool needed to remove it is also different. That's why it can seem like even the sages are constantly disagreeing. What's going on? But one thing that they must agree on, or not one thing actually, most of these clues about the self, there must be, at least on most of them, there must be agreement that it is not coming and going, it is unchanging. It is that which witnesses all things. Some of these absolutes, there can be agreement on how to get there, whether it is possible, what is the format, inquiry or puja, what is the way to do it, meditation. That is all consciousness. It's true, actually. Amaya says it's true about her because once I made a movie recommendation list and she saw maybe one of it and it was very violent. And Amaya doesn't like these violent movies and things. She likes more these romantic movies. She likes a lot of Bollywood. She's the love ones. She likes it. So she says, I could watch movie after movie like that. That's exactly what I'm saying. Not every expression of, no two expressions of consciousness are the same. She could actually watch those movies where nothing is happening, just
I like the hunky style.
just peaceful happiness and beauty. Yes. That's why she had moved to Hawaii. Yes. She had moved to Hawaii before she had to move back and take care of my parents.
So there's no revert to the imagine direction.
Very good. Don't add a but or an and. He says there is no river to merge into the ocean. I am already the ocean. I said, very good. Now don't add but or and. Again, not just as wordplay. Otherwise, we'll become like one of those conceptual neo-Advaitins. You still going to satsang? Why are you going to satsang? Don't you see you're the self already? Who is to do the inquiry? Not like that. Not this conceptual. From our own inside.
I had a good use case. I don't think I need to go every day.
See, that is the and. So he says that this year Rishikesh was very beautiful for him. So he says this year, while coming back from Rishikesh, he felt maybe he doesn't need to come to satsang every day. It's a long drive for him. Every day he has to come. Something in Bangalore traffic is not easy. Something was saying now I probably don't. I'm there. So what happened in Satsang is all our conclusions got squeezed out of us. Then as you make new conclusions about that, then you find yourself again in Satsang because these conclusions cause suffering. Isn't that? Why do I lose it? What did you lose? Ananda. Okay, I said we'll get to Ananda. So we'll get there now. Can you just try not being concerned about Ananda, just be concerned about Sat and Chit. Then make a report to me. Father, I've done this for like, it's been a week, 10 days. I've only concerned myself with the truth. I've not gone with what the mind is saying. And just no Ananda. I like to hear that. The trouble is we put the cart before the horse. Or we say that, oh, it must come in this way. I have an idea that the minute I am awareness, where's the Ananda? Is it like that? It doesn't have to be like that. The movement of consciousness, what is it? He moves in mysterious ways. Nobody can make a template out of it and say this is. But I am telling you that if you stay unassociated with your mind for just a little bit of time, Ananda has nowhere to go but for you to taste it. If you remain, again, I am not saying this so it becomes a benchmark. You see, so focus on the first part of what I'm saying and then allow the second part to happen automatically in its own time. See? What I'm saying is that if you leave being just to be, if you don't attach any concept to it, you see, no concept in time and space, don't attach any but or and, just I am. Then all of this fragrance of I am, there's nowhere else to go. It will come and serve you at your feet. You've seen me for a few years now, isn't it? Do you feel like I've ever been concerned about Ananda? Ananda is just your perfume, your fragrance, a byproduct of your life. I remember, but there was a time here that spiritual experiences and bliss was being chased. And then it became a game of hide and seek and cat and mouse.
Long ago. It's easy to be in your eye and dynamic life. You take care.
Did I say I won't?
You hear it's okay. All the time you do. Dynamic life.
When does it move from satsang life to dynamic life? Is this some inert life? Is this not real life? Is this like some fake make-believe?
All that. And the moment now the energy is
Yes. When do you stop being yourself?
losing balance.
Whose report is this? This one. Even in the moment when there is nothing, no trouble, it brings the past trouble to us and says, this is what happens to me. It tries to keep this false me alive. So whenever now I'm used to it, when I hear the report When I'm in satsang, it's fine. I know what is coming. Because this is still the voice of the non-existent one. See, I'm not saying it to be harsh in any way. I'm just saying that this is the way how the mind has become subtle and tries to get our belief even during satsang.
Consciousness has to pretend to be a person to engage in.
No. Okay, let's clarify on the word pretend to be, because belief itself is a pretense. See? So, are you saying that without believing that you are a person, you cannot go and order food in a restaurant? What is it that you cannot do? Navigate with mastery drivers on the road? Maybe there is a belief there that actually the person comes into existence. To deal with the world, does a person actually come into existence? What is it that consciousness cannot
It's a
do?
role play. Sometimes I'm the boss, sometimes I'm the father, sometimes I'm
All these roles can be played. There is no Ananta here, but Ananta who is sharing satsang, that role is being played. No personal intervention is needed.
it's automatic.
That's why the book is Consciousness Speaking with Consciousness. Yeah? Why? Because if it was Ananta speaking to Gopala, then it's like two imagined entities having a conversation about something which they have no idea about. You see? Then the conversation goes from Krishna speaking with Arjuna to Krishna speaking with Krishna itself. Then we are in true communion, in true satsang. That's why I like very much when Devan Maharaj said, "How long will you listen to me as Arjuna? When we come to satsang as Krishna, not Arjuna dressed up as Krishna." You see the difference. Speak to me from the truth of your own recognition.
You know, I ask you, I'm talking to you, I'm going to past. Now, in
Yes.
this moment,
In this moment, I am awareness. Okay, speak now from there. I am everything. I'm adorable. I'm beautiful. I can see the Ananda. It's like a few years ago, one of the Sangha members came to me and said, "Ananta, Now you made everything fine in the waking state. And now you have to help me with my dream state, because in the dream state I'm still like, I remember that I'm still caught up in the person. Somebody said, I'll tell you later. They said like that you sorted out. Waking state is fine. Can you help me in the dream state now? Because I notice in my dream that I'm still caught up in personality, in individuality, in ego. So I said that this which is appearing as Ananta to you now will also appear in the dream state as that. In that realm, whatever is applicable will appear and take you home there. The job of Ananta is this waking state. So let's make that even crisper and say, just right now is enough. You don't have to go to past, future. Both are dreams anyway. Both the past and future are just appearances. In this now, what are you? It's the only thing that is ever important. So don't give in to the mind's trump card so easily. It says, but, this, but, that. What did Papaji say? Past is a corpse, and the future is something. Graveyard. Yeah, graveyard. This identity has been practiced so many times. It's like a play that you've played for so long that when the recognition of what I truly am is coming, I feel like the character of the play has something to say about it. It's saying, but I was real. I was not just a play character. The drop can say, keep saying that I'm not the ocean. I'm just a drop. But what you're discovering for yourself is your oceanhood. Okay. How many can play as if you are person, ego? You can play as if you're the drop without having a concept of it. Play means consciousness is play of really believing yourself to be an individual entity. Is there something individual about your existence right now? Don't go to a judgment from the mind. Don't go to a conclusion from there. Stay with your insight. Where is all of this? The traffic, the fan, these words. Who is tasting all of this? And who is aware of this taster? So I know I've given all of you long assignment, 11 clues, and some more. Paul has been reading some more, so he's got some more for us as well. But just you need 2 clues. One, you are the one solitary witness of all there is. Second, the mind is complex, let it go. That's enough. Finish. The rest is for fun. But there's a reason. It's the same reason that we have satsang every day. I am saying the same thing for 4 years, in different ways. The whole point of the exercise is we marinate in that. We go through these beautiful verses of the sage and we taste them. We taste them through our own insight. And they sound like your report then. And they don't sound like Ashtavakra's words. Just another way of letting go of the complexity of the mind. We have, thanks to Nitya, Maya, all the people in the Seva team, we have more than 1,000 videos on YouTube. If it is all about just giving the message and not marinating in this edges, then we could just say, take 10, these are the 10 videos. Not even 10, 2 or 3. Just watch these. Marinating, we are doing all of this so that the false conditioning, which seems to be powerful, attractive, you can be let go. The mind comes and says, you must do, you must this, you must that. And the words come, you are the one solitary witness of all there is. Or the words can come, I am the shoreless ocean in which the arcs of the universe come and go. And they've been tasted as your own insights, then these words become atomic. Or they're just fancy sounding words. It's not. So this assignment, this homework is all my trick, all tricks to get you to immerse yourself during weekends, during some free time. This so you don't have this oscillating singing experience. But in the satsang hall and something else outside in the real world or dynamic world and something else. You'll see you are the same.
Namaste, Father. One of the best satsangs, Father. One of the best. Thank you so much.
Hanuman Chalisa is very beautiful. Maybe at the end of Satsang, I'll play one of my favorite versions of it. It's not the usual tune. Then, he says, just finished first day of moving into a new house. Happy to catch the end of Satsang. May it bring full auspiciousness, fun, joy, everything into all your lives. See. Which concept about your person, which egoic concept is not yet laughable? If you find those, you know what to inquire on. Which concept do we feel like we cannot do without? Not even object in life. I'm not talking about relationship. I'm not talking about any money, work. Just a concept. Is there something that we are completely sure about that we know? Somewhere as a concept. It is not your direct insight. Something that we just know. It must be like this. Know that consciousness in its full variety will show you how it can be without it being like that. Always shows us. Whatever we picked up in life saying it has to be like this way, not that way, it comes and says, no. What is it? Guruji says in the famous joke. What is the way to make God laugh? Within your plans.
So Nitya had said, so we do this tomorrow then. Nitya had said, I just read one or two verses from the beginning of chapter 10, but we didn't really look at them, so tomorrow. Yeah. Monday. Says she has so much pain right now, no idea why. Because Josh is not here, yes. Oh, but you just typed it for everyone anyways. Many times Guruji will get a letter. In the letter there'll be a PS, please don't say the name out loud. By the time he's got to the PS, he's already said it out. You can edit this part out from Satsang if you like. Yeah.
Who was that? To take care of you, the things that you say.
After Satsang. सतगुरु श्री मुझी जी की
जय। सतगुरु श्री अंता जी की जय।